Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it's just taking all that old stuff out of there. Look at that. Yeah, get it out now, man.
It's like a nuke.
You guys finally gonna redo this tank? Because this is getting ridiculous over here. Yeah, dude, sorry. We're getting to it. What's up, everybody? It's Jack and Dan. What are we doing today, man?
Well, we're finally getting around to refurbishing the big 220.
Yeah, this is one of the first tanks we ever really posted on YouTube here when we started our channel over 5 years ago. It wasn't the first tank we ever had. I've had tanks ever since I was about 4 or 5 years old. When we moved to this house, we had a 180, which we sold that 180 because it was kind of old. I had it at the old house for a long time, and we got this 220. And we've done a lot of different designs with it over the years, but we've had all these other projects we've been doing, right? Mm-hmm. In your room and in my office and the other tanks in this room.
Stacked tanks in the betas and getting different fish in the koi pond, of course.
Yeah, so then we were like, you know what? We really haven't done anything in this tank, so it's time we finally started to redo it going into fall here. And we're going to flip this around. We're going to kind of show you what's going on. There's probably going to be a series of a few videos because it's going to be like a series of steps over probably several weekends. We'll see if we can do it or 2 or 3 videos or whatever. We'll see what happens. What's up, guys? Yes, we're finally doing the tank. They're like, yay. Okay, so first off, this tank is pretty tall. Jack is, what are you, 6'1", 6'2" now?
About 6'1", I think.
Yeah, with shoes on. You got your little flip-flops on. It adds an inch or so. So this is a big, humongous tank. It is 6 feet long. It is over 6 feet tall totally. And we did have this tank made, this stand made from a retired cabinet maker, right? We've done a couple videos on it. It's a really beautiful stand, and we had it made extra tall because most of the people in our family are tall, and when we walk by here through the dining room, we want to be able to see it, right? At eye level. And for the kids and stuff like that, you know, they like looking up at it. We'll pick them up, and you know, when kids come over and stuff. Now, one of the things we did is when we put this together, we took the old paint that we did the room with, and we painted the back of the tank. And unfortunately, the lights have kind of burned out over the years. These were old lights that I had on the 180, and we replaced them with just cheap kind of LED under kitchen kind of lights. And it just gives it like a yellow hue instead of looking brown. The idea was to just make it look like you were just looking through it at the wall without seeing any of the stuff. Well, because this thing is so incredibly heavy, we probably won't ever redo the back, right? It would just be a huge headache. I mean, this thing weighs 3,500 pounds probably.
We have to get a bunch of dudes over here to help with it. It's pretty heavy.
Well, we could take the water down. We could kind of wedge some sliders underneath it and move it forward. But we're hoping that when we get it kind of cleaned up, we also have new lights. That's probably not going to happen anywhere at all in this video. But we do have new light fixtures from Higer, and we're going to do an unboxing on those and all that. We got those quite a while ago when they had a huge sale. And plus we used our code. We'll put our code in the description because we got an additional 20% off from the sale they were already having by using our own code. So that was pretty cool. We were going to just ask them for them to do a video because they do give us stuff. We're an affiliate with them. But we kind of felt like it was rude to get 6 of them, right? We're like, we'll just buy them. Plus, again, we got a huge, amazing discount on them because they had them on sale. Then we put our thing in. And so those were really a good deal. We hope that they work out. We have 6 of them because there are 6 lids on here. Each one will be due. Now, the lights that are on here, we're going to probably take those off, and they're going to become under gravel lights because the under gravel lights in here we took out. We used to have them. And what happened over here? Remember, we had lights coming up around here.
Yeah.
And then we had bamboo in here, and then we woke up one day after we took the bamboo out, and what happened? You remember?
Kind of.
The clownfish completely emptied them.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. They click their mouths and stuff, and they like as you can see.
They like to move things.
They like to move stuff and rearrange stuff because they're.
So we woke up one day, and even though these are 1 gallon goldfish bowls that we had bamboo coming out of, they completely emptied this one. And you can see the gravel and the sand just kind of mixed in here with the lava rock. And they completely emptied this one in one night. They're like, oh, you took that bamboo out? We're just going to empty it. You can see that they put it in where we had the under gravel lights. So they filled that area. They threw it all over. So we can't really remove that in any way. We do have a bunch of bigger rocks. So one of the main things we're going to do is we're going to get these big rocks out of here. We're going to take the tops off. Jack's going to take all the tops outside, basically wash them all outside. And then we're going to get all these rocks out. And then we're going to use some glass to kind of put down here. We do have some other right underneath here, we have some more plates of glass. Well, I guess you can't see it, so let's move that box. So we do have some plates of glass left there. So we're gonna put some plates of glass, and we're gonna take these LEDs out of their housing so they're more white instead of looking yellow. And we're gonna tape them to the bottom of the tank so that when we have we're gonna ultimately have like driftwood on this side with pothos coming out, and we're gonna have this big mountain, because this is called Mount Ropefish, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna build this mountain, and it's gonna have air coming out of the bottom, and it's gonna have lights coming out of the bottom. So it's just really gonna be one step at a time. It's gonna take a few weeks to do, but we're gonna take you through the beginning of this whole thing and kind of see how this goes. This is a beautiful tank. We got, like I said, it's about 5 years old, beautiful stand. It's the centerpiece of the house pretty much, because it's right here in the middle of the dining room thing. But these guys, they're a little mischievous little guys, and they did a little rescaping. They got tired of waiting for us. And then of course the wood, Riot just tears this wood apart and eats it. So we're gonna get some giant pieces of wood in here for him.
Make it a true pleco habitat.
Yeah, he is our massive royal pleco that we got several years ago. He was small. We thought he was more of a, like a lined one, but as he got bigger, his lines kind of separated. He is what's called a watermelon royal pleco. We did a whole couple of videos on him. You can see he just eats this zucchini. We put it in here. We just put that in here this morning. He already tore it apart and started eating down into it. He'll finish taking the skin off of that, and these guys will then hollow it out and eat the inside as it gets soft. So we do try to keep that in here, and we're going to continue to keep that in here so that he doesn't eat the pothos. This is Sonic. He's a blue peacock, wonderful guy there. And this, of course, is Lenny and Squiggy. These are Brutus's brothers, right? And she used to call them, Pamela used to call them Laverne and Shirley, and I said, I'm pretty sure they're boys. And so she said, okay, they're Lenny and Squiggy. They're a little bit shy. They're not quite like Brutus, but the one guy, which I think is Squiggy here in the front here, does come up, but because we have all these lights on, we're opening the lids, they're kind of shy, so they're hanging out on the bottom, and there's Squiggy down there in the bottom. But anyway, we're gonna kind of start this whole project here and see how it goes. And the other thing is these lights really look yellow. It's kind of where you can see, like when I come up forward, see how it turns white? But then like when you pan out, the lights look yellow. It's very odd. So we're gonna hope that the new lights and changing this around, it's not gonna have that yellow effect. If we can't get rid of the way that this looks from the back, we ultimately will probably redo that back, but we're hoping we don't have to, because honestly, that would be a huge headache, wouldn't it? I mean, dude, I do not want to do that.
Step one of doing this whole kerfuffle is you gotta clean it first.
Kerfuffle. Right. So let's get these tops off. You're going to take those outside. I'm going to start emptying it out. I'm going to take these goldfish bowls out, take these big rocks out, and we just wanted to kind of give everybody a little bit of history if you're new to our channel and haven't seen this. And we're going to give it a good cleaning, because we just haven't done much in here in about a year and a half or something like that. So let's get to work. All right, Lace, what do we got in there? I got the Avatar Islands down. Let me tell you something. Hey, calm down. Calm down. I got those out of there. Let me tell you, Riot was ticked off. He loves those things. Look at him right now. He's like kind of cruising around like, where am I supposed to go? He loved those. He always was hanging out on those. And there's Sassy, the Synodonis. He doesn't know where to go either. But they'll be fine, because we're going to be moving stuff around in here. He's just totally angry. Look how beautiful that guy is. Wow. He loves those Avatar rocks. They've been in there for a couple years. And let me tell you something. We used some good line. This stuff was hard to cut. We got this a long time ago, like super line to hang them with. You don't realize how big these things are. Huge. We like forgot how big they were. Look at this 5-gallon bucket. We forgot how big they were because they're hanging in such a big tank. You don't realize it, you know. Anyway, I'm going to take these goldfish bowls out next, and got all the lids offset the back ones because I still want to be able to see what I'm doing. So I have the lights pushed back to the back, and Jack's already, getting those done. So we got this big sheet. As he gets those done, he's going to kind of drip dry them and then put them in here to dry and stuff like that. But I'm gonna get these goldfish bowls out. I think I'm gonna ultimately I'm gonna push these out of the way and put those strips of glass, just so that, again, we can put lights on the bottom like we have on our other tanks. So we'll kind of put some lights underneath. Now the lights that we're gonna see how they'll reach underneath. So we're gonna just put these rectangles like that, and then these strips, let me just kind of show you the strips here. These are the old strips we have up here. They just stink. I mean, they're just old. This one's broke. We just look at this, just open wires, totally dangerous. Don't ever do anything like that. That's so dumb. But I don't know, it like got water in it, so we took the thing off of it. The other one is on Bertus's tank, so there wasn't even one up here. I mean, the lighting was horrible in this tank. So the lighting is gonna be really, really cool when we get that done. But what we're gonna do is take a few of these guys and they will again go on the bottom under here to shine up. So we'll have a bunch of driftwood over here that'll shine up underneath. This will be a big mountain of lava rock that'll shine up underneath. Probably put one on either side there and then maybe one or two in the middle, ultimately. We'll see. All right, thanks for helping, Lace. Good job, good job. She's like, whatever, I just wanna lick your sweaty legs. Okay, got those fish bowls out. Now they're really mad because they like going in there. Lenny and Squiggy, they're Squiggy. He's got a little bit of a nopial hump more than Lenny. That's how we can tell. He's kind of shy. We've done quite a few shorts. He actually likes to go in those fish bowls and hang out. What we're gonna do is we think we're gonna keep these big kind of glass fixtures in there, scoop everything out, and then it'll be like a hiding space, a cavern. When we put some of these larger rocks over top of those, they'll be able to go in there and it'll kind of light up from the inside. This was the big, huge, this is one of those things you put on your driveway for when you're like trying to watch out for plowing. That's what was holding those rocks up, those Avatar rocks. So clean that off. It was pretty mucky. It was kind of going across the top there and holding those. So this is going to go over to the fish tank closet. And the other thing is, I kind of clean these goldfish. These are actually really nice planters, these goldfish bowls. They have like the podium bottom, so they're really cool. So we may use those for something else or whatever, but kind of clean those up a little bit. So this is going to go in the corner here. We've got a few more because we use them for stuff. Dowel rods, we have steel ones, wood ones, and then those are the fiberglass ones. This is like our fish tank closet. We should do a video on it. We've been wanting to forever and everything in it. But anyway, this is one of the things I'm giving to Jack. We've done videos on these before. You can buy about 4 of these for a couple bucks at like Drug Mart or something like that. This is what people put on the end of their dryers. If they have, if they don't want, whatever filling up. But they are really awesome, and they're stainless steel, and they are wonderful and very inexpensive for cleaning glass. So I'm going to give him this other one. The other one we use in the pond, and then the other 2 we keep as backups. He's going to scrub the top of the lids, the part that's glass, with that. And then when we get the rest of these rocks out, we're going to take these lights off, take the other 2 lids off. But yeah, this is a great idea, guys. If you've never used them, we've done videos on them before. You just grab it in your hand like that, scrub that glass, totally awesome. Okay, so Jack has gotten all that stuff done. We did leave those 3 up there because we want to be able to see what we're doing. And now, of course, you're starting the incredibly satisfying chore of scraping this, right?
Yeah.
So this is the Higer floating magnet with the razor blade on it. We did a video on this a couple years ago when they sent it to us. And it is a magnificent tool, is it not?
Yeah, it's cool.
So the only thing you want to be careful of when you have the little razor kind of thing on there, you don't want to dig into your silicone. You want to kind of just come up to the edge and stop. So that's the only thing you want to be careful of. So he's going to clean that. We did not clean the filters, obviously. You don't want to do that until you're done. What we're going to do, because we're releasing all this stuff and stirring all this up, is after he gets the glass clean, we are going to do a water change and just kind of suck a lot of this bad stuff out, give these guys some fresh water. And the other thing we're going to do is there is a tube. Forgot to show this. There's a tube right here that comes down. These are really old, amazing heaters, by the way. I don't even remember what kind they are. All I know is they're giant. I had them back when I had the 180, and they're gigantic. I think they're 600 watt each. We have 2 of them. They have never shown any signs of air bubbles or leaking or anything. They're magnificent, and I think I paid a lot of money for them. But I wouldn't spend that much on a heater nowadays. There's a lot better options, but it was a long time ago. But anyway, they're working great. They're not having any issues. We're gonna leave those in here. Now this air tube you'll see comes down, and what we did is we buried it we took some PVC so that the gravel wouldn't crush it, and we took it over here to the middle of the tank. And there is a lava rock there. Kind of hard to see with all this stuff. with a hole in it, and then we put some smaller ones on top of there so that we could have like this big kind of volcano. Look how good that's working, huh? Wow, cutting that right off of there, huh? That's fantastic. So that tube goes to this pump, and this pump is very, very, very old. Not a magnificent pump by any means, and it pretty much, we've had a couple power outages and like going on and off, even though we have check valves, it just stopped working. So our buddy Connor and Greg over there at Best in Pets, we were there getting some koi recently and some other things, and of course we always have trade-in and stuff like that, and they said this is the biggest pump. It's actually for a 5,000 gallon pond, and they gave us an incredible deal on it. Normally it's around $100, and we got it for way cheaper. Very, very cool, because, you know, we do videos there and everything for them, and we have trade-in stuff, and we got an amazing deal on that. So they said, listen, that thing will last forever for a 220 gallon tank. So we're gonna hook this guy up, but first we're gonna take this bicycle pump, and we've showed you guys before, if you have an air stone that you wanna clean. So we're gonna hook that bicycle pump up to that tube. After Jack gets done doing this, we can see what we're doing, and we're gonna blow it up and just clean it off. There's a big buried air stone in there. It's like a huge kind of disc air stone. Look at that, isn't that great? Everybody's like so annoyed that we're doing this, but it's long overdue, guys. We know you're gonna love your new home when we get done with it. So we're gonna hook that up, and we're gonna show you guys how we do the air pump, and we're going to hook that up and then get some glass down in there and do a water change and take the rest of the lids and lights off. And that's just probably as far as we might go today. In here real quick, I'll just show you. I think the dryer's running in here, so it might be annoying, but these are all, there's Lacey. These are all the rocks we kind of pulled out of there. You can see if they were facing toward the light, they turned green, and if they were buried or underneath, they have absolutely nothing on them at all. So this is the wood. Riot has eaten through most of this. Most of this is like paper thin. He just chows down on it. This actually was as big as my entire arm. And it was a piece of wood that he really favored and has just eaten down into just hardly anything at all. So we're gonna get him some new driftwood. We also have all these new lava rocks that we also got at Best in Pets. Got a nice big piece of red slate. So we're gonna have some smaller mountains on the side, big mountain in the middle. We're not really gonna clean a lot of this because this rock is, of course, very important. It has culture in it, it has good bacteria, it has all that stuff that's been in there for years and years, as does the substrate and the filters. So we don't really want to start cleaning things to death here. We're just going to kind of put the new with the old and mix it in and stuff like that. So that's how that's all going to go. So we're going to go back over here and inevitably show you guys when Jack gets done here where we're at with, you know, the air, make sure that works, and then do a little water change for these poor guys. Okay, so you know what's crazy? This pump is not very big. I thought it would be bigger for 5,000, didn't you?
Yeah.
I expected it to be like huge. Yeah. It's actually pretty, it looks just like a regular,
it's kind of compact.
A regular Whisper.
That's also a good thing.
Yeah, it's heavy though, I'll tell you that. So it has this huge, I'll tell you, the cord is definitely stronger and longer than an aquarium pump because it's a pond pump. And look what this thing comes with. It has two huge air stones, which we'll probably just keep for something else. We don't need them because we have one in here and it's buried already. It has a couple of great check valves, little filter replacements. That little filter right there you can replace. We've talked about that and showed little things. We actually have a thing of cotton balls in there, and we replace all of our pumps with just cotton balls because it's way cheaper. But anyway, it comes with a big, huge thing of, this is that really nice kind of silicone line too that's like more flexible. We don't need any of this because we already have the blue line set up and buried. But anyway, really nice kit. Thanks again, Connor and Greg. It does come with these two little kind of like manifold type of things and Y connectors too. But we already have a manifold on this old one, so we're probably just going to put both together and attach it to this because we really want a lot of airflow. This thing is just a cheap top fin. It's lasted years, but it's really old. I'll probably keep it, maybe take it apart, see if we can do something with it. So Jack's going to give you the old pump with the bicycle pump. So give that a couple of hammer downs there. And we're just going to see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, it's just taking all that old stuff out of there. Look at that. Yeah, get it out now, man.
It's like a nuke.
It is. But that is a great stone in there, isn't it? So when that's all covered up, I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah. So that's what we want to do since we're cleaning this, just blow a lot of this stuff out of there. We're going to do a water change and vacuum and suck a lot of this out. But that's just that tiny little tube. And going up into there, and again, we have it buried so it didn't get crushed. And there's a huge round stone, probably bigger than this. And the other thing is we got this about a year ago. This is like galaxy looking duct tape, right? Because we a lot of people don't know we live by a duct tape factory.
Yeah.
And that's kind of fun.
It's in Avon, right?
Yeah, and it's huge, and they have a duct tape festival and all kind of stuff, and they have different ones in a drug mart for about $2 or $3. You can get any kind of duct tape you want, and this is kind of like Galaxy. And what we're going to do, a lot of these older tanks, if you look at the side here, you know, they get this buildup of smegma and stuff, so we might just put this around it, and it just kind of looks purple and brown and has stars, and a lot of people do things like that, but we're going to maybe use this color. We think it would look nice around there and just kind of block some of that nastiness. But yeah, it is like an A-bomb goat. It's a crazy. So let's hook this guy up to it and let's see what it looks like with it, and then we'll let it run while we do this water change and take some stuff out of it. They're excited. They're excited, but they're kind of annoyed. There's Lenny and Squiggy. What's up, guys? All right, guys, that's pretty awesome. So that is just the one side. Here's another tip, guys. I'm going to show you real quick. It's kind of dark under here, but so if you've got two ports coming out like this, which most of these big ones are going to have, if you put, like, just take a long tube, and you can leave it open to air, and, oh, there, the light took on, and just put it on the other port, and you'll notice that it quiets it down a little bit instead of having that one open to air. It vibrates less, and just kind of coil it up and leave it open. The other thing is, sometimes if you tie a knot in it, watch when I clamp it, listen. See, it started to get a little quieter after a minute. And then it hums a little more. So I might tie a knot in that. That's how we had the old one. Or I may just leave it open to air, because honestly, with the doors closed, and what'll happen is, when we get all these rocks piled up on here, if that's not enough and we want more air, we'll just take this old manifold we had on the old one, and we'll join the two together, and we'll put them both up there. But I don't know, what do you think? I think that's gonna do it, huh? It's pretty powerful, man. I mean, when you got 220 gallons of water pushing down on it, you know, it's different in a pond, because a lot of times your stuff is at the same level or whatever. It's kind of different. It's to think about it. But when you have this coming down, it's coming down that tube all the way up and then all the way back down, you know, so that pressure's coming back. So yeah, always use a check valve, always. But again, if we put this up here and it's not strong enough, we'll put these on there and we'll put both sides into one. But just a little tip, guys, if you want to quiet it down, put a little tube on that other one and just leave it kind of open like that. And that air will just flow out of there without really any resistance, but it just kind of dampers. It's like a muffler. All right, let's do a little water change for these poor guys. All right, it's getting pretty loud in here. As you can see, it's been quite some time since we've done these filters, so they're just kind of barely running. We did turn the one off in the middle. We are going to go ahead and clean that one, and we're not going to keep that on there. We hate dealing with that one in the middle because it's so hard to get up over the tank and deal with it. So we're not going to play around with that one anymore now that we're going to be putting all this pothos and stuff in here, and hopefully Riot doesn't eat it, you know, because we're going to continue to give him zucchini everything all the time. That'll help to, you know, clean the tank and everything. But, you know, we stirred everything up in here. We're just doing a water change real quick. We're going to try to clean the back a little bit. I'm going to take the rest of these lights and everything off. Jack's going to clean those. But when we get this water down, before we fill it, we are going to try to put some glass in here so we can do some under gravel lights. Some of them are going to go here, but we do want to try to get some down in here. So we're going to mess around with that first and then fill this back up. These guys have some fresh water, and these filters will still do a great job and everything right now. And it should be fine for another day or so, because we are going to probably have to wrap this up here soon. Today, we're just running out of time today. Look at how the Green Lantern thing reflects on the back of this tank. Isn't that cool? That's our Green Lantern tank, by the way. Totally cool. Jack's taking a break, just watching the tank go down. But yeah, that's kind of neat because you always see the Green Lantern symbol in the other tanks and stuff. All right, guys, we're back. It's nice and loud still because the water's down.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in order to get these, we have a bunch of these glass things. We've talked about these before. We've used them in a lot of other tanks. In fact, right over here you can see them in the Green Lantern tank. We used them to support the apartments and all that kind of stuff. Well, when we went to we put about 3 of these in on each side. Of course, we use the fancy glove, right?
Yeah.
This is our underwater glass glove. It's got like rubber tips on it. I think we got this in a kit when we put something together or something.
Those pallets are quite sharp.
Well, they can be sharp on the corners, and also they can be very slippery. You certainly don't want to drop glass when you're messing around. So I put this on. I did get 3 on this side, 3 on this side, but I had to dig through the substrate to get them all the way onto the glass. And so the problem is the water is so cloudy at this point. We just need to let the filters run for a while and chill out. We're not going to fill it back up. This may take hours. This may even take a day or so. So we may have to revisit this tomorrow or the next day, but they're all fine. They're just in there hanging out.
Good. I mean, yeah.
You know, honestly, I mean, look at these guys, man. They don't even care about any of this stuff. They're like, whatever, it's cloudy. People that work on fish tanks don't like it, but at the end of the day, they don't care. Most of these rope fish live in the mud of Africa anyway, so they're like totally fine in there.
The locusts.
Yeah,
They don't really care.
they don't care at all. So anyway, at the end of the day, we're gonna end the video here. We'll take it from here next time. We still have to take the lights off, finish cleaning the tops, put the lights on the bottom once we make sure when this settles a little bit that the glass is where we want it to be, because once we get in there we can't go back, you know.
Yeah, well, we made a good amount of progress already. That we cleaned off that algae from all sides of the tank, which is really satisfying and cool.
I mean, honestly, we knew this was gonna be a big endeavor going into it, which is why we kind of been putting it off, but ultimately we want to do it right. So take a little break. This is the end of the first video of this. There will be a series of these, probably 3 or 4 before this is totally done. And we'll see you guys next time, so stay tuned.
Bye-bye.
What's up, Lace? I know it's early, right? Came in here to just turn the light on real quick early in the morning just to kind of show everybody how this cleared up. It is looking pretty good. We dug really deep down into that substrate. We didn't realize how deep this lava rock was. We hadn't messed around it down there for a while. So we're probably going to add a few more pieces of glass just to get it up equal to this guy. And then, you know, move this lava rock around in that. We're gonna put some big rocks in here, big rocks on top of here so that the light will travel through. And this substrate, after moving it around and putting that glass in, is gonna be real super deep now, which is fine. There's plenty of room in this tank. It's a super tall tank. So even if it's 6 inches deep, still tons of room in here for these guys. But you know, just trying to get caught up with the cleaning, stirring this substrate up, doing some water changes. So the next video will pretty much take over right where this one left off. Like I said, we're gonna add some more glass. We're going to position how we're gonna do the rocks and everything, probably put the under gravel lights on, and probably clean the filters and kind of, you know, redo some things there. Kind of get just everything kind of situated and everything here and make sure everybody's cool. And then ultimately, the moving of the pothos will probably be its own video. So hopefully we can get this done all in 3 videos. These guys seem to be pretty happy this morning. Sassy, this Synodonis, is just kind of hanging out with the clowns. And Lenny and Squiggy are going down in there and seeing what's going on and everything like that. Looks like most of the ropes are doing fine. Sonic's just kind of hanging out down inside of those things. He's like not sure. He doesn't like the things aren't going on. That's the one rope. The other rope's up here. He tends to go up to the top when I turn the lights on because he wants to eat. Some of them really hang around the top. And then a couple of the ropes are kind of buried. They just bury themselves in the lava rock. They go down in there. I mean, like worms or something. You can't even find them, but when you turn the light on, sometimes these guys come out. So this is the really big one. He can't really bury himself or go into the lava rock because he's just too big. So anyway, there's an update. Everything's looking clear, everything's looking cool, coming along the way we wanted it to. We just got to add some more glass. So we'll see you in the next video. It'll basically take over right where this one left off and make some more progress on this big guy. All right, Lace. Say bye to everybody, Lace.